Giving all glory and honor and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Makar Kadash. Double honor to the other apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach this 100% truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children. I'm your brother Magan Shalamar. The title of this short video is America, thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. And this is a quick video showing you how fast America has started to fall, how Yahweh is bringing America down to her knees and shaking up the money system here in America, where this system is going to fail. As you know, recently the all over the world has been going, all the countries been going over to the CBDC, central bank digital currency, and the American dollar, the petrodollar, is falling. And this is a quick synopsis of when it started with Russia, how recently it just happened. So this is fair use, not for monetary gain, but for educational purposes only. Fair use.
Weren't safe during conflict. After WWI, neutral countries reduced pound holdings, fearing Britain would freeze assets again. The Great Depression, 1931, forced Britain off the gold standard, devaluing the pound by 30%. Trust evaporated. Countries diversified reserves to dollars and gold. Britain's weaponization of finance during WWI accelerated the pound's decline. America's weaponization of the dollar accelerated dramatically in two phases. First, 2014 sanctions on Russia after Crimea annexation. Russia was excluded from some dollar transactions. Russia responded by reducing dollar reserves from $130 billion 2013 to near zero by 2020. Russia increased gold reserves from 1,000 tons to 2,300 tons. Russia developed SPFS payment system. Second, 2022 sanctions after Ukraine invasion. America froze $300 billion in Russian central bank reserves. Russia was cut off from SWIFT. This was the nuclear option, and it backfired catastrophically. Every country watching realized dollar reserves can be frozen. SWIFT access can be removed. Your wealth isn't safe if America decides you're an enemy. The result was mass de-dollarization. China reduced U.S. Treasury holdings from $1.3 trillion 2013 to $775 billion 2024. Saudi Arabia diversified reserves, reducing dollar share from 90% to 70%. Central banks globally bought 100 tons of gold in 3 years, 2022 to 2024, the highest since 1970s. Countries built alternative payment systems. The weaponization that was supposed to punish Russia instead convinced the entire non-Western world to build alternatives to dollar dependence. Stage 4.
So you can see that these countries is starting to no longer depend on the American dollar. America is falling. This is Isaiah chapter 47. We started verse 5. It says, "Sit thou silent and keep thee in darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms." And the Chaldeans, the daughter of Chaldeans, is America, the home of the wise. You know, America is known to be the Lady Sovereign, the Lady Liberty. You know, the wisest in the country, in the world, the most powerful in the world. But the Lord is saying that thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. He said, I was wroth for my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And, you know, the majority of the northern tribe and the southern tribe are here in America. Today we're being oppressed. We're still in captivity in America. It says, thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. See, the Lord is telling them, like, you call yourself a lady, that you're going to be the greatest in the world forever, but you didn't consider what's going to happen to you. You didn't consider listening to the prophets of Great Millstone, who are on the highways and byways, has been teaching this truth, and the truth been out since 1969, 1970. You know, the downfall of America. It says, and thou says, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things in thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Yeah, because the latter end of that, America is going to burn. America is going to be becoming that lake of fire. It's going to be no more inhabited. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And that's Esau, Edom, in their mind, in their thought process that they are God. They sit on the throne as if they are God, because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah had given the earth into their hands, because they are the wicked, and they rule with the sword to the point where they're going to fight against Yahweh Shah when he returns. They actually think they're going to win. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. And all of this blessings that Esau has been given to the left-hand side of the Lord, blessed with the modern-day technology of the war, this modern-day technology of the computer, and all sorts of things, wickedness that they use that they think is going to save them, but they're gonna know that in the moment, in one day, that it's all false, man. They're gonna fail. Actually in 1 hour, that America is going to be destroyed. Verse 10 says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And this is what we're seeing now. We're seeing the downfall of America. It's falling so fast, and Trump think that he can actually save America by making America great again. The hearts of these people here in America, so-called white man, they actually believe that we're going to go back to the 50s when, they could sit back in the shade drinking their lemonade, thinking it's going to be all great again. But America is being torn from the seam, man. The Lord is shaking this place up, and judgment has already started on America. We're waiting on the MOTB, which we know that to be the micro C hip. Something's going to happen where it's going to cause America to go into what's the name for that? When the troops boot hit the ground, martial law, and we're waiting on something going to start that, and where they're going to enforce the shutdown. And when they open back up, it's going to be a whole new system. In order to get your money out, in order to pay your bills, you're going to have to get that chip. Just like how they closed down the EBT cards, the welfare system in a matter of a day. For a whole month or so, there was no welfare cards for the poor. And it's going to be the same thing that's going to happen, where it's going to be a mass action across the whole entire world, where it's going to be a shutdown, and it's going to be the MOTB going to be implemented. In order to buy or sell, you're going to have to get that chip. And that's what we're waiting on. And once that chip comes out, that MOTB comes out, we know that that's the end of Esau, because after that, World War III is going to start. And this is what the Lord is saying to them, that they did not consider their latter end, that these things are going to happen. Their latter end is coming, and they're going to be the ones who are doing it. And they don't even understand that their own doing is bringing about their own demise. It says, verse 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Right? You call upon all your sorceries, you can call on your sherm, you can call on your magicians, your scientists, the gazers that are gazing out into space. And you can see all these things happening, and you think you can change history. but you can't. You know, all the technology in the world, it came from the Lord, man. He gave it to you. Just so that you're going to die by it. You're going to die by your very hands, man. You're going to die by the downfall. Well, you're going to die by Yahweh Shah Mashiach and ICBM missiles, but the downfall of America, you can't stop it. It says, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Right? So all of your trust into science, see if that's going to save you, Esau. See if all of that, your space technology, your space army, your NATO, all of those things are going to save you from the power of Yahweh Shah when he returns with his angels in them chariots. And we crack that sky and he start raining down that nuclear beams from the chariots, them laser beams. It says, behold, thy shall be a stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it, right? Because America is going to burn. And the Lord is showing you this is the end of America. That's what's going to happen. It's going to burn, you know. There's only people that's going to make it out of America is going to be the ones in them chariots. And those are God's chosen elect. And we pray that we're part of the elect, you know, the elect of Israel, not no whole entire nations that can be saved. The Gentile nations talking about the heathen nations, you'll make it in them chariots. No, you have to be from the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel. And those are the only ones that's going to be in them chariots. And above them, you have to be the elect. Only a third is going to make it. That call upon the true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. It says, thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to their quarters. None shall save thee. Right? So all these nations are going to look and gaze on America as it burns. And this is just one, part where it shows you out of the Bible, out of many scriptures, how America is going to be destroyed. This place is going down fast. You know, so with that, I hope you was edified. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah by Hashem, Kah HaKadosh. Again, double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom.